everyone, my name is Sarah, I'm one half of the YA Room, and today I'm going to be talking all about the books I read in August. August was like a so-so reading month for me. I read 14 books in total, which is really great. That's usually what I aim for. About half of them were rereads, and I only read about 5 books that I bought during August. So take that as you will. But I feel like I did read a lot in August. I was happy with the amount I read. I really enjoyed what I read, and that's really the main thing. I also accumulated a lot of books during August. I mean, when don't I buy new books? It's like a daily thing for me now. But today I'm just going to be talking about the books I read during August, and in my next video I'll be talking all about the books I bought and received. So let's dive into that. So during August I reread 6 books, which is really rare for me. I don't normally reread books, or if I do, it would maybe be 1 a month, because I have so many books to read as it is, and I'm like, why would I reread all these books? But I was just having a really nostalgic month, and I wanted to reread some of my favorites, and so I did. The first book I reread was To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. I wanted to reread this one because, as you know, the Netflix film just came out. Oh my god, how cute was it? I actually reread this book on audio, so it was my first time experiencing the To All the Boys I've Loved Before on audio, and that was a really great experience. It turns out I had forgotten so much about this book since I first read it, and I was so happily surprised by so many things, and then it was so great to watch the movie a couple days after it and compare them side by side. If you don't know anything about To All the Boys I've Loved Before, honestly, go check it out, but it is basically about this girl who writes love letters to her crushes to like get over them, and then one day her love letters are sent out and she has to deal with all the ramifications. It is such an adorable book and an even cuter movie. Oh my gosh, Peter is my life. I just have so much love for this series, and you should definitely check it out if you haven't already. The second book I reread was Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. Nimona is actually a graphic novel, and it is super cute. It has some of the most beautiful illustrations I've ever seen, and I'm just in love with this story. One night I decided to reread it because I wasn't quite sure when I wanted to read, and then I saw Nimona sitting on my shelf, and I'm like, why not revisit a favorite? Nimona is a book about a shapeshifter who becomes an apprentice for this evil mastermind called Lord Blackheart. It's about their misadventures and the things that go wrong, and also about their friendship, and it's a really cute story. If you haven't given graphic novels a go, I definitely recommend starting with Nimona because it is my favorite ever. The next book I reread during August was I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman. I've read this book 3 times before, but I've never listened to the audio of it, and when I saw that this audiobook service that I use had it on there, I'm like, why not give this one a listen? And oh my gosh, it was so good. I loved the voices for the characters. I feel like they matched them perfectly, and it was so good to experience this story in a way that I never had before. I'm sure you're all sick of me talking about this book, but if you haven't heard of it before, it is basically about a fangirl named Angel who is obsessed with this boy band called The Ark, and it is also about The Ark's front man called Jimmy, and it's about what happens when their 2 worlds collide, and it is incredible. Next up, I reread Tash Hearts Tolstoy by Catherine Ormsby. This is another one of my favorite novels, and it's about a girl who makes this mini web series about Tolstoy's novel Anna Karenina. Anna Karenina. So it's about this girl called Tash and her experiences on YouTube and what happens when her and her group of friends become instantly famous. It is such a cute novel. It has brilliant asexual representation. It talks all about internet culture and fandoms, and it's just such a great read. If you're a fan of contemporaries, I highly recommend picking up Tash Hearts Tolstoy. Next up, I decided to reread Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. You're seeing the trend now. I have reread a lot of my favorite books during August, and Eliza and Her Monsters is no exception. This is a book about a girl who creates a famous webcomic series and about a boy who writes its fan fiction. It is such a cute love story. It also talks about family and mental illness, and it is just like one of those books that you'll want to go back and reread constantly. This is only my second time rereading Eliza and Her Monsters, but I'd forgotten how much I adored this book from the first time. Just so much love for this novel. Definitely pick it up if you haven't already. And the last book I decided to reread was Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. As you can see, I've had a little bit of an Alice Oseman binge during August. I wanted to reread Radio Silence because I couldn't decide which audiobook to pick, and I know it's one of my favorites, so I went along with it. I will never stop gushing about this book. It holds such a special place in my heart. I connect with the characters so well, and the themes, and just everything about it. I just adore it. If you haven't heard of it, Radio Silence is a book about podcasts and fandoms, and this girl who makes fan art for this podcast, and suddenly the podcast goes viral, and oh, it's so great. It's really reminiscent of Eliza and Her Monsters, so if you've read that one and you love it, pick up Radio Silence, and vice versa. If you love Radio Silence, give Eliza and Her Monsters a go. And now I'm going to be talking a little bit about the books I received during August and actually read during August. It wasn't as many as I normally would like to read that I accumulate, but you know, you can't always win. I had so much fun rereading those books, so you know, whatever. I only read like 5 books from my TBR, but that's fine. The first book I received and read was Heretics Anonymous by Katie Henry. I heard about this novel from Emma Books on YouTube. She is obsessed with Heretics Anonymous, so I'm like, yeah, I'll give that a go. And oh my gosh, I loved it. Heretics Anonymous is a book about a boy who transfers to a Catholic school and he is an atheist. He feels like he doesn't really fit in until he finds a group of people called Heretics Anonymous who don't fit in themselves. There he forms a really cute group of friends, and it's all about the pranks they decide to play on the school and his blossoming romance for one of their members. Oh my gosh, I just cannot begin to express my love for this book. It is so well written. The characters are full of life and vibrant and so well rounded. I adore it. Honestly, I can't even describe how amazing this book is. Definitely give this one a go if you haven't heard of it already. The next book I read was The Finder by Kate Hendrick. The Finder follows the life of Elias, who is a teen fashionista and who is looking for his birth mother. One day he runs into this girl called Lindsay, who's really like grungy and doesn't want to talk to anyone, but she's really good at tracking people down. So The Finder is about their reluctant friendship and them looking for the people that are missing in their lives, and it's like a really cute novel. The Finder is a really enjoyable book. It wasn't enough for me to like love it, but it was fun to read, and that's really all I can ask for. The next book I read was Stuck on Vacation with Ryan Rupert by P.S. Malcolm. This book was sent to me by the author for a review, and oh my gosh, it was so cute. Stuck on Vacation is a book about a girl whose parents go away for the summer because her mother is getting treatment for cancer, and she is forced to go on a holiday with her next door neighbors, but there's one catch. She hates their son called Ryan Rupert. If you're a fan of the hate to love trope, you will love Stuck on Vacation. It is such a swoon-worthy novel. It will give you all the beach vibes, and it will make you want to like pack up and go on a holiday. And oh my god, it had like a really surprising twist as well. I didn't see it coming. This book really has it all. Cute romance, holiday destinations, and a twist that will make you question everything. Stuck on Vacation was such a fun novel, and I definitely recommend checking it out. Next up, I read Inside the Tiger by Haley Lawrence. Inside the Tiger is a new Love YA novel about a girl who starts sending letters to this man who is in prison overseas. And oh my gosh, this novel crushed my soul. I am still not over it. I honestly wasn't expecting such a dark story, but I guess when you're writing about overseas prisons and what it's like to be living on death row, you know you're not in for an easy read. I absolutely loved the characters. I loved the friendships they formed. I loved the high school setting. I loved when this character went overseas to visit the person she'd been writing to. Oh, that ending was just so heartbreaking. I will never be over it. Oh, just so much love and respect for Inside the Tiger. It dealt with some really difficult issues, but ones that really need to be addressed. If you're looking for a moving, new contemporary novel, I definitely recommend picking up Inside the Tiger. The next book I read in August was It Ends With You by S.K. Wright. It Ends With You is a new mystery novel about what happens when a girl suddenly turns up dead. The whole high school is suddenly pointing fingers at certain people, and you never know who actually did it. And it was a good novel. It was like fast paced. I wanted to know what happened. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. My main issue with this novel is that I didn't feel really connected to all of the characters. I wanted to know them more in depth, but that might just be a flaw from me because I don't usually read multipov, and this book dealt with a lot of different people. So I was like, who's who? What's going on? It was really gripping and kept me interested, and I wanted to find out what actually happened. But because I didn't care about the characters, I didn't care who was gonna go to jail or who was like convicted with murder. So, you know, like, you win some, you lose some. It was alright. The next book I read during August was The Universe is Expanding and So Am I by Carolyn Mackler. I listened to this book on audio because I read the first one on audio, and wow, oh my gosh, it exceeded my expectations. The Universe is Expanding and So Am I is the second book in the series, and it follows the life of a plus-size teen who's trying to make her way through high school, fall in love, form friendship. It's like your standard contemporary novel, and it's just so adorable. The Universe is Expanding and So Am I also deals with some really tough topics like discussions surrounding body image and rape, so it isn't just a light, fun contemporary read. But what I love most about it is the humor in this novel. It really brings it up from being just like a novel that could have been dark and it could have taken a toll on you to read, but it was a really enjoyable novel, and I loved every second of reading it. The second to last book I read during August was Just Breathe by Andrew Daddo. Just Breathe is a book about a boy who's been training to be in the Olympics and about a girl who has a brain tumor. This book is a love YA novel set in Australia. I really liked that aspect of it, but I didn't really like the other aspects. I'm not really into sports novels, and this talked a lot about sport, which was not interested in. It was just like a meh read, nothing really special about it. Maybe like a 2 out of 5 stars. I read it and then I forgot about it, so yeah. And finally, the last book I read during August was Grease and Fury by Taryn Banghart. Grease and Fury follows the lives of 2 teen girls, Serena and Naomi, and what happens when one of them is sent to live with the prince and one of them is sent to like a death island for reading a book which is forbidden in this world. This book is full of twists. It gave me all the feels. Oh my gosh, I adored it. I need the second book in my life right now. Grease and Fury was just such a fast-paced novel. It raised so many important questions about feminism and the patriarchy, and I just cannot recommend this one enough. So yeah, these are all the books I read during August. Some I loved, some I didn't, but I'm pretty happy with my reading month, and even though I did reread a lot and didn't really get through my TBR, I had a lot of fun. But that is it for today's video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Have you read any books that I read during August? What were your favorite reads of the month? I would love to hear your thoughts. Bye everyone!